I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. On today's I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, the 1992 Olympic Dream Team. Could they beat this gold medal 2024 Olympic basketball team? Noah Lyles, how did you go from gold medal glory to shut the up? Plus, my favorite hip-hop groups of all time, and what is really a group. All that and more on the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast coming up right now. Boom, have no fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Biggity boom, have no fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Welcome to the Iron Dome of Disruption. Welcome to the Ziggity Zone of Disruption. My name is Michael Rapaport, a.k.a. the Inflamed Ashkenazi, a.k.a. the Gringo Mandingo, a.k.a. the Sultan of Sniff, a.k.a. the Disruptive Warrior, a.k.a. the White Chocolatito. Hope everybody's feeling real safe. Hope everybody's feeling really, really sane. Hope everybody's holding it together in this kooky, crazy time, as this week is the midway point of August 2024. August 2024. Hope everybody's having a good summer. Hope everybody's enjoying the time that they have off. If you have any time off, hope everybody's getting suntans, if that's what you want, if that's what you need. Anyway, I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast coming live and direct. And I'm feeling really good. I'm looking really good. Feeling really good, and I'm looking really good. Been having some chipwich problems. Me and my wife have been struggling with the chipwiches from Trader Joe's. That Trader Joe's, man. That started off like such a good idea, Trader Joe's. It seemed like, oh, they got organic stuff, and they got carrots, and they got green peppers, and they got orange peppers, and yellow peppers, and sweet peppers, and hot peppers, and you could get corn, and you could get sweet corn, and all watermelon and watermelon cubes and watermelon slices and all different colors and kinds of apples. And now it's just like you go in there and it's just Temptation Island. Trader Joe's is literally Temptation Island. All sorts of cookies, and now they got watermelon with chocolate and apples with chocolate and celery. You could dip them in cheese and chocolate. Everything is chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Every kind of cookie you could ever imagine is in Trader Joe's. Every kind of gum. Obviously, Trader Joe's still also has a bunch of healthy stuff, but every time you turn a corner, every time you look up, every time you take your eyes off the prize, if you're going in there to I want to get some vegetarian, frozen food, some good vegetarian frozen. If you take your eyes off that vegetarian frozen food, boom. Have you tried these chocolate chip cookies? They're new. Boom. They got the ice cream sundaes. They got mini ice cream sundaes. I love Trader Joe's, but what are you doing to me, man? They have the organic chocolate chip ice cream sandwiches. There's nothing organic about it. How can an organic chocolate chip ice cream sandwich exist? What is an organic chocolate chip ice cream sandwich? What is organic? How does that help me? And they serve 6 in a box. And we started off eating one. We'll have one. And then we're like, oh, we'll eat 2. And last night, me and my wife had 3 of them. 3 of them. 3 each. And we're stuffing our face. By the time we got the third, we couldn't even look each other in the face. We couldn't even make I couldn't make eye contact with my wife. She refused to look me in the face. I was so embarrassed. So embarrassed. Stuffing my face with the ice cream sandwiches. Me and my wife literally stopped making eye contact with one another. I don't know if Trader Joe's was invented by a guy named Joe, but you need to go in there, man. You need to go in there and see what's happening in Trader Joe's. And we were doing that on the heels of the Olympics. Olympics have come to an end. Olympics 2024, Paris, have come to an end. And what a great Olympics. I think one of the most important parts of the Olympics was the time zone. You were able to watch the games. I remember when they were in Japan, you couldn't keep up. You couldn't keep up. It's like it was too much delay, and you'd see it on the internet. Having them in Paris was awesome. You get as a viewer as much as you put in. I've been talking about it. I had such a fun time watching the opening ceremonies, even though that was like chaotic, and the boxing and that whole thing with the fighter Khalif, which I'm not going to go into. The women's fighter who wind up winning the gold medal. And then, of course, Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles, what is your problem, man? You won the medal. How did you go from being the golden boy, the golden child, who won in such dramatic fashion, to becoming so unlikable just like that? Noah Lyles, he's complaining now that Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man from the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the gold medal Olympic basketball team, I believe he's 21 or 22 years old. Noah Lyles is complaining that Anthony Edwards got his own shoe, but he's never won a championship. You ran with COVID and you knew you had COVID, and you told everybody you had COVID after you lost. I know that Noah Lyles would not have said he had COVID had he won that 200-meter race that he came in third with, which is still great. You came in third with COVID. But you want to attack Anthony Edwards. You want to make everything about yourself. And I was on your side 1 week ago. I was like, listen, this guy's an Olympic athlete. He's a track and field runner. His career is short. He doesn't make the money of an NFL athlete. Doesn't make the money of an NBA athlete. Certainly doesn't make the money of a golfer. Doesn't make the money of a baseball player. He should do everything he can to bring as much attention to himself during the short-lived time that he has to run track and field and be the greatest in the world. And you had everybody. Everybody loved you. And then you started talking. Shut up. Shut up. Don't worry about Ant-Man. He won a gold medal he's beloved. Everybody loves Anthony Edwards. You can't not like Anthony Edwards. He plays with so much joy. He doesn't shut up either. But everybody's smiling when they're around him. Every time he opens his mouth, people laugh. People want him to talk more. When he's mic'd up during the games, everybody likes him. You see him talking in Steph's ear, LeBron's ear. They're always laughing. He's beloved. You're not. You somehow went from being the fastest man in the world, Olympic gold medalist, to the most disliked person on the USA Olympic team. That's on you. Noah Lyles, I liked you. I liked you before the Olympics. I liked you from watching the Netflix documentary Sprint. I liked you when you won. I was disappointed when you lost. And then you started talking. Shut up. Shut up. What a podcast. Like I said, the Olympics are done, and the women's basketball team, they scratched and clawed against France. They were a toes way going into over, but they won, I think, their 8th consecutive gold medal. Kelsey Plum, she's my favorite. Brittany Griner, who, of course, 2 years ago was in a Russian prison for bringing weed while she was playing overseas and was in jail. And the whole world went crazy. Free BG, free BG. And 2 years later, she won a gold medal. I've always liked Brittany Griner. And they duked it out. And the men's basketball team, they duked it out. And the greatest thing about the men's basketball team was Serbia and France pushing them to greatness. They brought the greatness out of them, which made it so incredible. That team, and LeBron is a savage. He's letting his beard go gray. He's 39 years old. He's an animal. He won MVP. He was voted MVP of the Olympic team. And, I don't know all the stats, but he was the guy. He was the engine that was pushing everybody. And he played so many minutes in the big games and made all the right plays. And Joker and Serbia, they had him. And then, of course, Steph, KD, Anthony Davis, Booker, and LeBron, they were better. And those teams pushed them to greatness. They brought the greatness out of them. And it was so beautiful as a basketball fan to see them have to dig deep and show the world how great they really are and the joy that they played with and the camaraderie, and they looked like they were kids having a ball. And it was so much fun to watch, and it was so much fun to watch them play against France with the great Wemby, the alien. He was so much fun, and I think he's 20, and he was the main guy on that team. And again, that game wasn't as close, but they pushed him, and then Steph, they had him within 3, and then Steph did what Steph did. Steph Curry, last name rhymes with flurry, put on a French flurry, a wave of 3-pointers. Nuit, nuit, night, night. Nuit, nuit, night, night. That's French for night, night. And he was great, and the whole team was just fun. Steph, LeBron, KD, Bam, Derek White, Drew Holiday. Joel Embiid was great. He stepped it up as the tournament went on. Booker was awesome. Tyrese Halliburton didn't play much, but he had fun. Anthony Davis, he was great. And of course, Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, who was the controversy of it, and his mother was saying stuff about it. And listen, if I was Jason Tatum, I'd be pissed off too. Not that he expected or needed to play a lot, but not playing at all after winning an NBA championship, being in his prime, I would be disappointed too. But at the end of the day, it ain't about you, Jason Tatum. It ain't about the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum and Brown are the only things that weren't fully positive about these Olympics. I like Jason Tatum. I would be really frustrated too if I was Jason Tatum. But at the end of the day, you won an NBA championship and a gold medal within months of each other. Granted, you didn't play much, but you're a part of that team. You're a part of that legacy. You know what you did in practice. When you played, you were good. Your style of play, that one-on-one kind of style of play, is not the way they play Olympic, FIBA, world basketball style. Not to say that you're not better than this one or better than that one. And like I said, I'd be pissed off too. But it ain't about you. It ain't about the Celtics. Celtics gonna Celtics. Boston Celtics players are always gonna be unlikable. That's just the way it is. That's just, they can't help themselves. There's always going to be a reason to not like the Boston Celtics. But it was just so much fun. Game versus Serbia. I thought they were going to lose that game. But they just, like I said, pushed them to their dominant selves. Bogdanovic. Is it Bogdanovic? Yeah, I think it's my name. I'm not fact checking. I'm not stopping because I'm cooking right now on this podcast. I'm cooking. It was awesome having LeBron watch the women. It was awesome watching Carmelo and Steph Marbury and Sha'Carri Richardson, the track star, be there. It was just fun. It was competitive. And it was what the Olympics are all about. And it was what being great is all about. And then, of course, the conversations have come up again with the 1992 Dream Team beat this team. And, of course, that team was Jordan, Magic, Bird, who was far from his prime, Pippen, who was in his prime, Charles Barkley, who was the best player on that team, historically speaking, Pat Ewing, David Robinson, Karl Malone, Stockton, Leitner, Clyde Drexler, of course, coached by Chuck Daly. I don't know. It's hard to go against those old guys, that original OG team. Obviously, it's fun to talk about, but it's like would Muhammad Ali beat Rocky Marciano in his prime? Would Joe Louis beat Mike Tyson in his prime? Would Floyd Mayweather beat this one in his prime? It's hyperbole. Is that the word? Hyperbole? It's hyperbole. It's for computers. It's for debates. It's fun. Obviously, you're going to lean towards the guys you saw in their prime. It's hard to bet against Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley in their prime. It took the older dudes on this team to do it. It was the biggest of big threes ever. Steph, KD, and LeBron, they did it. And 2028, the Olympics are in Los Angeles. Man, the way it was this year, I'm going to be pumped for those Olympics. I'm going to be pumped for those Olympics. Hopefully, I'll be healthy. And because 4 years from now, anything can happen in 4 years. The world has changed so much in the last 4 years. And it was brought to my attention that 7 years ago, almost to the day, I did my iconic rant on the Charlottesville, Virginia protest. 7 years ago, the Tiki Torch, I don't remember what I called them exactly, Tiki Torch, dumb Tiki Torches. Miles Jordan, play the rant. Last night in Charlottesville, Virginia, a bunch of white nationalists carrying Tiki Torches that they got from Home Depot, wearing skinny jeans, drinking coffee, came out for a protest saying, "White lives matter, white lives matter." You know your life ain't shit if you're a college student on a Friday night during the summertime. You ain't getting no ass, and you decide to come out for a protest carrying Tiki Torches, talking shit. Little coffee cup carrying white nationalists. You ain't shit. If you was really trying to get it popping, you would have taken your little Ed Sheeran protest right over there to Virginia Beach or Newport News, and you would have got your Tiki Torches stuffed up your ass. Revenge of the nerd protesters. Eat some pizza, take a few bong rips. Don't you got a fucking toga party to go to? It's Friday night. Try to get to second base with a girl, you fucking loser. Talking about white lives matter, throwing up Nazi salutes. Dorm room dumb fucks. I did that rant on a Saturday morning. I was walking my dog, Wheezy, R.I.P. My dog Wheezy has passed away. I did that rant on a sweaty, hot August Saturday morning in Los Angeles, and you could see from the rant, my t-shirt has sweat marks in it because I was like jogging and doing who the hell knows what kind of strenuous Olympic training exercises I was doing. I still do them. But I had woken up and saw on, who knows, Twitter, that the Tiki Torch cavalry had showed up and was screaming and yelling about Jews will not replace us, you will not replace us, Jews will not replace us. And I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? First of all, if Jews were looking to replace anybody, the last people that we'd be replacing would be you. We are not thinking about you. We don't care about you. And we are not plotting, losing sleep, or questioning, or trying to figure out how to replace you. You're the last people we would ever want to replace, ever. And I felt threatened. I felt offended, and I did what I do. And it was crazy because it was 7 years ago, and as you could tell from the video, I wasn't expecting anyone to see the video any more than people see any other of my videos. I wasn't prepared. I didn't look particularly good. I was sweating. I didn't frame it right. I just, lifted the camera up and did what I did. And that video went crazy viral. It was on World Star. It was on all the hip hop forums. It was on the news. The first time I had been on the news for anything other than being an actor. I'd been on the news before for promoting stuff, but I'd never been on the news. Actor Michael Rapaport lashes out. Actor Michael Rapaport responds to the Tiki Torch Charlottesville protest, yada, yada, yada. It was all over the place. Everybody and anybody was like, I love what you said, appreciate what you said. It's wild because aside from the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast, that was the first time that I had said something on social media. I believe it was the first time I said something on video outside of the podcast, which at the time was only audio. It was the first time I said something on video about a social or political situation. And now, of course, I talk about it all the time, but it was just nuts when somebody sent me the video. Somebody sent me the video and was like, yo, that was 7 years ago. And I know that it was 7 years ago because, like I said, I remember because of the celebration. That video was revered, the celebration and the reposting and the congratulations and the thank you and the response of that video. I'll never forget it because it was the next morning. And because it was so talked about at the time, I always remember it was the next morning. It's just weird that nobody had any problems with what I said then, but now so many people have so many different problems with certain things I say now. And I have been holding these feet to the fire. I have been evolving, learning, embracing, supporting, standing up for so many different things, whether it was Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd, and before that, the Eric Garner, I Can't Breathe situation in Staten Island, which broke my heart. Clarence Thomas on his ass, to standing up for abortion rights and women's rights and the right for women to choose and do whatever the they want and need to do pertaining to their bodies. And of course, I've talked about Pig Dick Donald Trump, aka Dick Stain Donald Trump. I've talked about AOC, held her feet to the fire, accused her of not explaining her January 6th situation in full. People were offended by that, but I saw what I saw. She went on Instagram Live. She was telling her story. I saw what I saw. I heard what I heard from her mouth. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I don't know where that Instagram Live is or if it lives anywhere. Talked about Ilhan Omar, the squad. Talked about Cadaver Joe Biden. Talked about Yuck Mouth, Rudy Giuliani, Steve Bannon, the human infection. Talked about Junkyard Jared, who I was wrong about. Junkyard Jared was fantastic for Israel. You could hate it. People that hate Israel hated Junkyard Jared because he was so pro-Israel. But I talked about Junkyard Jared on the podcast, on social media. I talked about him on the Stephen Colbert Show. I have talked about everybody. I've laid it on the line. I've evolved, I've changed, I've learned, but I've been consistent talking with a comedic twist. With a comedic twist. The only times I haven't talked with a comedic twist was when it was a serious issue. January 6th, that day, felt very serious. Obviously, afterwards, I talked about the QAnon shaman and all those scumbags. The one who on Nancy Pelosi's desk. And I think Nancy Pelosi's totally full of Talked about burnout Bernie Sanders. Talked about Mitch the Glitch McConnell. I have talked about them all. And there's always a comedic twist. Whether it's Dick Stain Donald Trump, that's for your pleasure. Pig Dick Donald Trump, that's for your pleasure. That makes me laugh. I know it makes you laugh. Cadaver Joe Biden, great nickname. That makes me laugh. I know it makes you laugh. Junkyard Jared Kushner, great nickname. I invented that. Makes me laugh. I know it makes you laugh. Nancy Pelosi, stood up for Nancy Pelosi's husband when people were going at him. Done it all. I've done it all. And I made a rant the other day about Tim Walz. Coach Walz. They call him Coach Walz. Posted it. People are up in arms. Oh, now you're making fun of somebody for being a coach? I said, why they call you coach? How many people have you sent to the league? You ain't Chuck Noll. You ain't Al Davis. You ain't Bill Belichick. People were like, oh, you're making fun of somebody because they're a high school coach. You're making fun of him because he was a coach. Have you ever won any Academy Awards? Have you ever won any Emmys? No, I haven't won any Emmys. I should have been nominated a couple of times, but that's not what I'm here to discuss. The point is I have held their feet to the fire. I have broke balls. They're calling coach. I got a bust. I'm like, who are you, coach? How many players have you sent to D1, D2, or to D3? Coach? Joke. And I thought about it because I was like, damn, first of all, I never, just like the Tiki Torch rant, I never imagined or thought twice about the Tiki Torch rant being revered worldwide. London, Piers Morgan, they wanted me on there. Australian News, they wanted me on there about that Tiki Torch rant. I never thought about that. And I never thought that asking Coach Walz if he ever sent anybody to the league would be so offended. And if we're going to get coaches, why don't we get my man Coach Brown from Last Chance U. He'd be a great vice president. My man, Coach Brown from Last Chance U, he'd be a fantastic vice president. People are up in arms about this. But it's because you're talking about their guy. And that wasn't even the gist of the rant that I posted. The gist of the rant that I posted was hold these people accountable. Make them earn your vote. All of them. Make them earn your vote. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to what they have to say about the policies, and then make a list and check it twice, because if they don't do it, they're going to be running again. 2 years, 4 years, they're going to be running again. But you never know. You never know how things are going to resonate with the public at large. You, the public at large. But just know this. My name is Michael Rapaport, a.k.a. the Disruptive Warrior. The motto, the tagline is stay disruptive. I came out of the womb disrupting. You think 2024, election time, I'm not going to continue disrupting like the disruptive warrior I am? Get the out of here. You got to stay disruptive, and you got to stay fully disruptive. These people are not your friends. They're looking for your vote. This is not a popularity personality contest. To me, it's a policy contest. It's a policy contest. I don't care about what you look like. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you're cute, not cute. I don't trust any of them. Pig Dick Donald Trump, Cadaver Joe, Nancy Pelosi, AOC, Ilhan Omar, J.D. Vance, the unjewed Jew, Josh Shapiro. None of them. I don't trust any of them. I try to squeeze a little bit of juice out of them to hopefully work in my people and my favor. Other than that, I don't go about any of these people because they don't give a about you. Ha! Ha ha! Anyway, another thing that's always controversial when I speak on it is hip hop. I have made some fantastic rants regarding hip hop throughout the years. And I mean, people have gotten upset. Offended. If it's not the artist, it's the fans. If it's not the fans, it's the blogs. It's become racial. Who are you, white boy, to speak on hip hop? Why are you an authority on hip hop? Because I'm a hip hop authority. Now, there's plenty of people that are more knowledgeable and authoritative than me when it comes to hip hop. But I consider myself a hip hop authority. I can go blow for blow, toe for toe, and debate with the best of them regarding hip hop. NBA, fantasy football, movies, politics, all things Israel and anti-Hamas. Pretty damn good. And absolutely, positively, hip hop. Housewives. Oh, I could go with the top of the top. Housewives, reality TV. Of course, I have the Rapaport's reality podcast with my wife because she's an authority also. She brought me into the game. She learned to me. You should listen to Rapaport's reality every Wednesday, dropping like clockwork every single Wednesday. Rapaport's reality, where we break things down to the bone on all things popular culture, all things reality TV, all things Bravo, all things Love Island, and of course, a lot of things related to our relationship. Rapaport's reality, you can listen to it wherever you stream and listen to your podcasts. But hip-hop has been extremely controversial regarding me. I stand by all my rants. I stand by all of them. Like I said, toe for toe, toe-to-toe, blow for blow with anybody regarding hip-hop. The rapper from the group Migos, Quavo, who obviously Migos lost the other member very, very tragically. Terrible, terrible incident. Offset, Quavo, and Takeoff. Takeoff is the one who was tragically shot and killed. Terrible, 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 terrible incident. I've talked about that many times on the podcast. But Offset from the group Migos, who is married or in a divorce with Cardi B. I don't know. I don't care. And I would never disrespect the death of Takeoff or the Migos. I know that they are culturally impactful for especially younger people, younger generation. Not me, but Offset said that he believes that Migos is a better group or more impactful or better than Wu-Tang and some other groups. Basically said that the Migos is the greatest hip-hop group ever. And Offset, I mean no disrespect. No disrespect to what the Migos have accomplished, and that legacy being, very important. And of course, the death of Takeoff, which is just tragic death. But I when I think of hip hop groups, it doesn't even cross my mind. Migos don't even cross my mind. I mean, I can name 15 or 20 hip hop groups right now that have produced better music that will last the test of time. I'll start with, of course, A Tribe Called Quest. I'll go with Outkast, Wu-Tang. This is in no particular order. Run DMC. You go nowhere without Run DMC. Of course, Treacherous 3, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, Impact, EPMD. EPMD is ridiculous, a ridiculous body of work. De La Soul, shout out to Dove, Trugoy the Dove, Dave. De La's still rocking. They never broke up. De La Soul never stopped making music since the time they started making music. Do not ever sleep on or forget the impact of De La Soul. MOP, who I was talking about the other day, banging. Now listen, MOP is not necessarily chill, but when you're ready to run a mile, run a triathlon, run through a brick wall, when you're ready to kick some ass, you put on some MOP. Shout out to one of the greatest hype people in hip-hop history, RIP again, to Fox, FOXX from the BX, MOP obviously representing Brownsville, Brooklyn, NWA. Then you go into the groups that might not be groups because they're one MC, one DJ, Pete Rock, CL Smooth. They had a crazy run. Can you call them a group? Because it's only one DJ and one MC. Is that a twosome? But it's more than one person, so they're not going to go in the solo category. So I got to go with Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Gangstar. Again, shout out to Guru, Premier, DJ Premier. Bangers. I don't think Gangstar made a bad song. Literally. Is that a group? Though it's one MC and one DJ producer, and they go hand in hand. Gangstar's, they're sick. You can't call them a solo act, so I guess you gotta call them a group. Eric B and Rakim, same thing. Public Enemy, talk about a hip hop group. Public Enemy, shut them down, shut them down. Cypress Hill. Cypress Hill's a hip hop group. They brought a whole. I don't need to explain what they did. I'm just talking about in comparison to Migos. No disrespect. Houdini. One love, friends. How many of us have them? The Roots, continuing to make music. They've been doing it at a super duper high level. One of the greatest MCs ever from The Roots. Of course, Black Thought. They're a hip hop group. They're a hip hop band. Who else? BDP, KRS-One, Scott LaRock. Scott LaRock had a ball. He is a super ho. The Ghetto Boys. Come on. And Scarface is a solo act, but the Ghetto Boys together, iconic. UGK, again. So many of these groups have lost people, including the Migos. So sad. So many of these groups could, man, that is really sad to realize how many of these groups you'd never be able to see them perform again. The Beastie Boys, that's a ridiculous hip-hop group. Again, you'll never be able to see Beastie Boys perform together. Naughty by Nature, ill group. Hip Hop Hooray. Tretch is one of the illest MCs ever. Slept on. Ill. Again, is DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, are they a group? They're not a solo act. And at the time, DJ Jazzy Jeff was as important as the Fresh Prince, a.k.a. Will Smith. That's a group. Black Star, Mos Def, and Talib Kweli. That first album, that's a sick album. These are two guys that are solo guys, but they came together and made one of the illest albums ever. Black Moon. I don't know who else I'm forgetting, but for my taste, the aforementioned groups that I mentioned, they're more my cup of tea than the Migos. No disrespect to the Migos, but whenever I say something about hip-hop, whenever I say anything about hip-hop, people get all freaked out. Let me know if I left anybody off the best groups of all time list, and do you consider Gangstar a group? Do you consider Pete Rock and CL Smooth a group? Do you consider Eric B. and Rakim a group? DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince a group? Because it's, two people. Anyway, I came, I saw, I disrupted. This is a great podcast. I want to tell you right now, this is a fantastic Rapaport Stereo podcast. So make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend about the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Miles Jordan, a.k.a. the Bleach Brothers, a.k.a. the Dust Brothers. Take me at it with something real nice. Take me at it with something real loud. But most importantly, end this puppy with something really funky. See, I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. I'm out.